What's going on, everyone? So, I'm just going to do a quick trade breakdown of the last couple of days. That being 14th August, 15th August, the Monday and the Tuesday for the new week. Um, Mostly missed opportunities, but we did catch a couple. So, I'm just going to go through and sort of give you my um, breakdowns. I know they're on the stream anyway, so like you could see most of the stream and then sort of see the ideas, but some of them didn't play out after the stream had closed. So, let's look at this in closer detail. So, let me just bring up the charts. Okay, both German 40. Been very busy, so I haven't been able to do much of anything in the New York session. So let's have a look here. I'm gonna have to go through and sort of replay some of this data, but we had sells on Monday. It's quite funny because when we have a look at look at the trade the days, I took a sell on this day and I took a buy on this day. So it kind of really reinforces the fact that if you choose an asset class or a trade such as German 40 or gold, it's got that double sided volatility. And that means like you can still get good moves, even if it's not the bigger move of the day, right? So I couldn't say the same thing about if I traded like say Aussie Swiss. There's no way I'd be able to target like 30, 40 pips if I was on the wrong side of the move for that day. I would have loved to have taken sells today, and I've in fact just missed those sells by a matter of 5 pips. It came away from my target, just didn't quite get there, and plus the best entry was a little bit before my trading session. Not much I can do about that. But then let's talk about Monday first, and in this one here, I actually had taken sells. Okay, so price because we've been sort of stuck in this range. This is the first candle that's actually closed with a bit of strength here. But let me just replay Monday. So I've just cut off the data. If I go over to my 30-minute time frame, skip forward a little bit. Asian session had pushed down. Let me just put up the sessions here. Okay, so we can see like in the blue bit's Asian session. Yellow is the last hour of Asian, like Tokyo close, and then the first hour of Frankfurt Open before London Open takes charge. Then I've got my London Open as like my little standalone 5 hour period. And then this is where New York comes online. Normally we have like just look at the blue sections here. Okay. Normally the blue zones are a bit like, usually they are the smallest of the day. Okay. See this? And then when I had got to the charts just before London Open on yesterday, Monday, Asian session threw me a little bit of a curveball, and I was actually pretty keen for sells, but then the sells there was too much movement in this period, so that was 126 pips. You can see that down the bottom right, 126 in Asian session. That's not normal. So had to switch my bias on that day and think, well, probably going to be able to get the buys would probably make more sense here. And we know how the daily candle would close, but I'll sort of go through what happened. And I'm going to say straight from the start, like breakout trades from London Open is not my preferred style of entry. It's not something that I like totally mastered. Taking that breakout, I do prefer to sort of let price settle and then trade the reaction to the breakout. That's usually my forte. Let's have a look. This is the Euro Open. But what I've noticed is when you are getting like a fairly decent movement in the Euro Open, like the Frankfurt Open, which is UK time 7 to 8 a.m., normally that volume can give you a decent push. So like it's just a shame that I kind of missed these buys because I kind of just wanted to see like a little bit of a fake out, break the high, sort of play around a little bit and then take that second break and then go with the volume. That would make more sense. But I was a bit bearish on this day. It's just we'd moved down too much in the Asian session. So didn't get a chance to take these buys, even though they played out beautifully. So once I'd already missed that, I know my average open is roughly around, say, 100, 120 pips. That's a decent volume for a London Open. After that, you usually get a bit of a correction. So we'd already moved down 126 pips in Asian session. And then London session had proceeded to be in the first like hour and a half, we were 103 pips So, it's time to start looking for reversals. Where could a reversal happen? I need to look to the left. I need to look for where I see a resistance formed or a support formed. And then say like if price had sort of pushed up like this and then broken, I would say maybe in here is a support. Say something like that. And then if I can see a reaction from here, then perhaps I can just take that as being support broken, now it turns to resistance. Or maybe there was a resistance up here, and that what I'm looking for is price just to push up into that resistance and then form like a little rejection and then push down. We had to wait on this one. This one sucked because, I normally try to be done in the first hour and a half, and price just wouldn't have it. All these candles were closing fairly strong. Like even this one, where it looks like a decent reaction for a 30-minute candle, the next candle just broke the low and pushed up. So there was an opportunity in here because there was I was looking, I think it was around these dojis or somewhere. Maybe I was even on the lower time frame. I had a little zone in here. Yeah, there it is. So this is to me what I'd see as seller step in, seller step in. So this is potentially a resistance area. So let me just draw that here. And I believe this is more or less where I was interested in. And then, of course, I had one a bit higher than that. So seeing a candle like that was getting me a little bit interested. Oh, sorry, it was over here where I got a little bit interested. But I never really saw a rejection candle followed by a retest, which didn't break the high. There was a little move here, which pushed down, say, 30 pips, but then it reacted from these wicks. And then it just didn't have that follow through. Then I ended the stream, I think, about this candle, I think, more or less. And then I just had to keep on waiting, and I went out, did a couple of things, but I just was keeping an eye on price. And all I wanted to see was a rejection candle followed by a lower rejection candle. And then I can get into that trade, or a rejection candle, say something like this, followed by maybe like a little bit of an accumulation, a couple of like little dojis or something, just having price hesitate at an area. Then I could say that if price was breaking the high of these candles, and it would be like a bullish candle, but forgive the color, but I could try take a trade, say, up here somewhere, anticipating, hoping that candle is going to close bearish. If it did that, then I've got a rejection candle followed by a lower rejection candle. After that, this would be your anticipation entry. This would be your confirmation entry. So either way, anticipation will give you better risk reward, but confirmation entry probably a bit better in terms of probability of working out, but lower risk reward. So this was the first candle, and I needed to see something respected. But let's just play forward in the 15-minute candles. Okay, so next one, sort of wick down, just fighting with this thing. So price pushed up, started to break this little area. So nice little rejection here, but then the next one continued and kept on pushing higher. Now we got up to this black line, which is my monthly level, and I had to say that this area on the 5-minute it wasn't really working out. So where was my next level above it? That kind of looked similar, and I'll go up to the 30-minute chart, and that's more or less over here. So I got this candle, and then followed by this one. This one here is marginally higher, right? So I can say that this zone now, a little bit lower. I like to take it so this is where sellers would get in. The wick would wick up, they would buy, and then the sellers are stepping in around this point. So I don't want to take the whole candle, but I like to take the top wick and then the top wick of this one. That's the zone now, right? Now we had a 15-minute candle. Sorry, let me go. A 15-minute candle, nice and bearish one. Just need to see a second one, or little accumulation. Okay, little accumulation, little inside candle, and then this guy. So finally had two of them. I took it about here. So it pushed down a little bit, then it went up, and they were sort of fighting, little double top, and then started pushing back down. And I thought, yeah, that's top wick created, and there's a good chance this is just going to fall now. I like to take 50 pips when I'm taking these kind of trades. So That's kind of my target. So I had my target. Initially, it was like to the base of this candle, but I had it based to this monthly level at 15848. So the trade ended up being like this. Yes, sir, right there. Okay, so scaled out, of course, a little bit over here, but it ended up being a beautiful trade. So price just fell. I know a few of the guys in the Discord were looking at scaling into this, and like once I had finally a decent push, little wick fill, breaking this low, rejection candle followed by a lower rejection candle, then it was only a matter of time to fill this clean candle. So price just hesitated because like this is coming into New York Open. New York Open fiddles around a little bit, and then it just goes and dumps. So beautiful, job done. Where did price react from? This is something that's really interesting, is that like the same thing over here, that's a rejection candle followed by a lower rejection candle. This here is where sellers step into the market. So this was a resistance. And when you get a resistance and it's broken, it turns into support, right? So this is a dangerous area to be holding all the way down to the bottom. If you start seeing support created around this area, then obviously like the job's done, So that was a beautiful little trade, 50 pips. Had to wait, wait so long for it, but it was patience paid off. Hunger was the best source, and I was hungry. I was hungry for that trade. Now, let's look at that's the job done for that one. Let's push forward into the Z Asian session. Okay. This one here this one hurt a little bit. So if I want to look for a first thing, number one rule, first thing you need to do is find your points of interest, and your ZOIs. So where is a point of interest? Where's the zone of interest? Look at your high time frames. They're your more reliable ones. We do have a candle, such as this one. That's a rejection candle. Wicked higher than the candle to the left, closed nice and bearish. Now, need to see another one. So price, wicked up, little doji candle, closing back inside this body. Beautiful, So this becomes your zone. That becomes your zone. Let's go to the 30 minutes. Price has finally found a rejection candle, no top wick, and that's what gave me a bit of pause. So just a lot of volume in this 15-minute. Look at the 30-minute. Look at the 15 minutes. Sort of wicked up, no wick, just pushed down. So we'll go to, this is 6:30, 7 o'clock. This is the Frankfurt Open right now. Just wicked up and then sort of rejected. And that's when I was thinking, I got to the charts. I actually started the stream a little bit earlier, like 10 minutes earlier than I normally do. But even that was 7:30 a.m. my time. I can't take a trade as soon as it opens. So the next 30 minutes just dropped. So kind of hurt because I was really keen for these sells, and that already moved 55 pips. 15-minute is it just dropped. So I was patient. I just put my little snake in the grass here, knowing that often if we do get this sort of breakout, often what will happen is price will push down and then it will come back up, and it will often get to that 50% of this euro range. Didn't quite get there. That's sort of the end of the story for this one. I did take a trade. I'm going to go through that one, but it didn't quite get back here. Where is an area to the left, which is the opposite of a rejection candle followed by a lower, like one of these? Where is an area to the left? One candle, two candles. So that's a support. Buyer stepped in, pushed up, price pushed up, came back down. Buyer stepped in again, proceeded to make a higher close. Significant area. Now, if this is broken, this support becomes resistance. Yeah. So in the stream, I did have that zone play out there, and I had it something like this. Now, all I wanted to see was just push up and take that 50% mark, and I would have been in. I'll stay on the 15 minutes. Price pushed down. Okay, had a nice little rejection. Maybe I'll stick to the 5 minutes actually. So price pushed down, and I was like, yeah, looks good, looks good. I think we're going to get a second push. Never got there here. It just ended up just tanking. So it was a real shame because it was literally a matter of about 5 or 6 pips. I just wanted to see this no wick candle be taken out. And then I would like to see a resistance form and then a drop. I should have been in here, but I can't get in that early. And then this was another little sign, but yeah, it's just a little bit dicey. I had to stick to true to my plan. Unfortunately, what it meant was that I missed this trade. Then when price pushed down, okay, just continued to push down. We got to the end of that range of 120 pips before we see a little rejection. This time I planned a cowboy trade. What I was looking for, I wanted to see. I'll go to the lower time frames. I wanted to see like a little fast move because the fast move is often the false move, and then you can see a little correction from there. So I was super patient. Skip through these candles. Just wait till you see something like reject and push like fast. Okay, so that one. That's the one that moved fast. And I remember watching that. And this 1 minute candle moved 18 pips in like a matter of seconds, and then it sort of just hovered. Now, for me to get into a buy, I can't just catch a falling knife. And we've got a lot of these like rejection wicks over here. So what I wanted to see was a sign of a bullish candle with a lower wick closing back inside the previous candle's wicks. Once I'd seen that, I was gonna jump in. I'll keep my stop loss like under this zone. This zone here, down the bottom, it was this candle. So the last bearish candle before that up move, which broke this high. So that meant like that was like a little order block. Very simple, last bearish candle before an up move, last bullish candle before a down move, for like these kind of swings. So that was my zone here, and I was thinking this is well worth a shot. I had to wait for a candle. You can see the little green arrow. I'll show you what that little candle looks like. Let's play it forward. Let's go 1 minute. All of these were sort of like moving around in while this candle was alive and moving. It kind of like it was hinting that it was going to close bullish, but then ended in the last few seconds closed bearish. So I just had to wait. So there's a wait candle. This was a little candle pushing bullish. This one here was the one no, not that one, sorry. But I closed bullish, a little rejection wick. Next one, broke the low, and then started pushing up. So this is, to me, is, why not? Let's just give it a go. Because it's counter trend, I'm not looking for 50 pips. I want 50 pips, but the way I said that I'm going to manage this one, give me 30 pips and I'll close 99% of it and just let the rest run. Maybe I got the low. So entered onto this trade. Stop loss initially was down over here, see, somewhere, 20 pips or so. Price just hesitated a bit. Let me just move this because I had the stop loss here. Okay. Came back down a little bit. Gave it like a little double bottom. A little bit concerned at this stage, thinking that we might just sweep it and then push up. But I was just, just had to be patient, breathe. We had a little resistance formed, and then we had this candle close above it. So I was like, yeah, we're good for 30 pips now. At that point, I could move my stop loss. I was just like, I think I was even around this candle. I was like, I'm just going to move it the stop loss to break even. I almost closed it, and I thought, well, I'm in profit by 3 pips. If I move to break even, then I've at least got a chance that it just goes. Otherwise, we break even trade. Can't hurt my feelings. Move on with my day. Price proceeded to push up. This is the 30 pips. Okay, so you can see more or less that 30 pip will be just here. It was more or less 30 pips. Closed 99%. Cowboy trade paid off. Yeah, that's all I could do really. So why this zone? This zone actually is pretty juicy on rejection candle, and then we've got another like little wick. And this was an area that I was a little bit concerned that we would reject from, and indeed we did. Indeed we did. Yeah. So price, well, that was the 30 pips there then, and then it started to drop. So job was done. It dropped pretty dramatically after that. So let me just play it forward. Dropped like another 100 pips, I think. So finally broke through this area. Oh, important point, like, once we sort of close in it, is a drop. So I was like testing, close inside, drop. You can see like where it goes to. I jumped onto a coaching session afterwards with one of the clients, and we were discussing this trade because he took didn't have the best of weeks. So we're sort of just going through some zone work, and we're looking at this trade, and price had dropped so freaking much that it doesn't make sense to keep on looking for sells. Like, we're down 220 pips now. We've got a little support candle here. This was a good opportunity to say, look, price was pushing down so far, support candle followed by another support candle. He entered here. You could have waited for a little pullback as well, because often when it starts breaking the high, especially if you've got a no wick candle here, it might reject a bit, give a bit of a deeper pullback, and then keep on going. But after that drop, 50 pips is very simple, because like, you only need price to, even from a late entry perspective from here without waiting for a pullback, 50 pips is right here. I think he got a 2-to-1 on this one. Sorry, 1.5 to 1. So yeah, more or less something like this. Okay. He's a piece of cake. Just had to wait a little bit, because at this time we're getting close to like the New York Open. Sometimes we just need that extra kick of New York volume to push price up. So see how like it pushed up, came back down, threatened. If you move your stop to break even, you probably get stopped out. So you just got to kind of live with it, breathe. Ranges for a little bit. We get this New York volume coming in. 130, we had some retail sales, I believe, and then price pushed up into that 50 pip mark but then proceeded to drop down. Interesting to see where, I'll finish this video off, interesting to see where this reacted from and turned around. Same thing I started harping on at the start of this video was, look at, we had a rejection candle, okay, rejection candle, followed by a lower one. There's a good chance now that that's a resistance created. Either way, if it's a resistance created, that's a valid one. If we break above it, then that's a potential support zone. Otherwise, if we break lower, then that's going to be a resistance zone to look for sells from. So where does something look like over here? Well, it's in fact over here. So we've got, let me just remove this guy. Okay. We can see we've got rejection wick higher than the previous one, closed nice and bearish. This is a bullish candle, closing higher than these previous ones, so that's not a rejection wick. This one here is a bit too bullish. It closed lower, but it's still not really a rejection wick. This one here pushed up, rejected, came back down, closed bullish, but that's a rejection wick. So use the top of this wick to the open of that candle, and that's your the open of the candle, not the close of the candle. So that is your resistance zone. And now look where price went to. Price came all the way back up to it, tested it, little rejection candle, and then fell away. So wasn't the best of 2-day period, but still managed to pull 80 pips across 2 trades. And they were opposite to the way that these daily candles are formed. It was a sell on this Monday bullish candle, and it was a buy on this Tuesday monster bearish candle. So it's got to follow your process, and yeah, just don't give up. Okay. So appreciate you guys watching this video all the way to the end. I'll see you guys in the London streams. Take care. Take care. Bye bye.